Welcome to Cav Country. I'm Army Sergeant Jesse Granger, and this week we'll take you on patrol with the Strykers, meet one Iraqi man who's stepping up to help secure Baghdad, and I'll catch up with some female soldiers who are learning how to be Army strong. But first, one of the main efforts for coalition forces here is transition. The military transition teams are at the tip of the spear for this mission, but sooner or later they'll have to step back and let the training take its course. For now, the Iraqi security forces and training teams are working together toward the common goal of a secure Iraq. In this next piece, Army Sergeant Ray Kokel shows us how some security forces teamed up to accomplish another common goal.
Working together usually isn't easy the first time around, but that didn't stop the 2nd Brigade 9th Iraqi Army from trying. Although this is the first time 2 Iraqi Army battalions have worked together, they weren't the only ones out there. Assisting them on their first joint mission is the 1st Squadron, 7th Cavalry Regiment, 1st BCT, 1st Cavalry Division.
It was really good to see them. It was an Iraqi-planned, Iraqi-led, and Iraqi-executed mission where the only thing we were required to do was come along and support them with some coalition forces enablers.
The 2nd Brigade 9th Iraqi Army Division Mechanized Commander arranged a mission after receiving an anonymous tip from a resident of the community. Together, the 2 Iraqi Army battalions and U.S. Squadron detained 20 suspects and confiscated several large-caliber machine guns. Reporting for 1st BCT, 1st Cavalry Division here in Cav Country Iraq, I'm Army Sergeant Ray Kokel.
Stryker units are a relatively new concept, having only been around the past few years. What makes them so unique is the combination of speed and power their vehicles bring to the battlefield. Specialist Jennifer Rook spent time with the Strykers recently as they struck out on a patrol without their vehicles.
Right now we're about to cross the amount of canals and stuff in the area. The Stryker would have had a difficult time getting from our dismount point, our original tactical assembly area, to the objectives. So we decided to dismount, do it on foot.
3rd Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division troops set off before sunrise, looking for signs of enemy activity. After marching for 6 hours, they reached the first objective and secured the building. They took turns taking a break and pulling security. But it wasn't long before they were back beating feet to their next objective. 9 hours into the march, they encountered some resistance that required air support.
What are they trying to do? Shoot Hellfire missiles at it and destroy the buildings.
Apache attack helicopters covering the patrol swooped down firing rounds, showing the insurgents they weren't there to play.
For the triggermen and some small arms fire.
An Air Force A-10 Warthog did a few maneuvers after releasing the last round and eliminating the threat. After watching the aerial display, the soldiers' morale was high as they continued on to their last objective and the end of one very long day.
I think you hit it. Not 100% sure, but I think you hit it.
Truman proved, although they rely on their Stryker, they can still ruck as though it never existed. Specialist Jennifer Rook, 7th MTAD, Baghdad, Iraq.
The new Baghdad security plan has been underway for just over a month now, but the soldiers can't do it alone. For the plan to be a success, the citizens of the Iraqi capital will have to step up and take responsibility as well. Sergeant Holly Jensen introduces us to one Iraqi citizen who's doing his part to help in the effort.
Every day, men and women put on their combat gear and head to the streets of Baghdad. Some hide behind face masks, protecting their identity. They serve their people by helping coalition forces.
We show them how we respect the Iraqi people outside the wire, and that's part of my job.
The interpreter's role is dangerous and important.
I'm the only connection between the American soldier and the Iraqi people outside the wire.
These men and women risk everything to make sure the troops and Iraqis can communicate and understand one another.
This whole mission is impossible if not for the support of the interpreters, the guys who frequently risk their lives and their families' lives for trying to make the nation Iraq better.
Tell them we're coming out again next.
Over time, the troops and Terps create not only professional relationships, but personal ones as well.
We're almost brother. We almost brother. Too much friend I got here. Probably I never have that much a friend with my own people.
At the end of the soldiers' tours, they head home and hope their brothers in arms will be safe. But that's not always the case.
The brother is the husband.
The interpreters that we built a relationship with last time were unfortunately killed several weeks after we left. So that's the scariest part, is leaving somebody that we've built a relationship with and not knowing what happens to them. We're not being able to do anything for them while we're gone.
Yeah. If anyone know outside what we're doing here, like helping Croatian forces, if they can't reach us, they're going to reach the family. That's a fact, and everyone know about that.
The U.S. does grant some Terps the opportunity to come to America and live in the country they fight for, but the opportunities are few.
Just wish that there's more we could do for them, and that if possible, there would be more visas available for those individuals whose identity has been compromised and are no longer safe in their home after helping us.
What would it be like for them?
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be the freedom I dream about. It's going to be the freedom.
For now, the mission is clear. The soldiers engage the Iraqi citizens to help them secure their country.
Just say goodbye for him, because I already said that for him.
And the interpreters make sure the message is understood. Sergeant Holly Jensen, 7th MPAD, Baghdad.
Sexual assault is no joke, and the Army goes to great lengths to try to make sure that it never happens. I checked out a class here on Camp Liberty recently that's teaching female soldiers a way they can prevent it from happening. Welcome to Self-Defense in a Combat Zone. It's a weekly class at Camp Liberty that will teach you everything you need to know to destroy your enemy in a single blow. Well, maybe not, but it will teach you how to hit someone. Specialist John Noble, usually on the road as part of a personal security detachment team, has been chosen for an unusual detail today.
Basically getting hit. On the punching bag, getting hit. So I'm hit pretty hard. Pretty surprised. Kind of hurts a little bit.
He's helping his fellow soldiers by going through the motions here so that they'll remember what to do if they ever have to go full speed.
I work night, so if I have to go somewhere or something, it's really dark, and most of the time it kind of gets scary because you don't have a battle to go with you most of the time. Sometimes you don't really see, there's so many shadows, and I could see that really coming in handy.
He could be just reaching in to grab you by the throat.
The class pauses. The instructor has some serious advice for the students. They hope they never have to use today's training, but if they do, they want to be ready.
You know, it really reminds me why I do this. You know, it's a feeling that I get when I'm done teaching them, when they come up to me and say, oh man, I really feel like I learned something. I can do something now if somebody comes up to get me. I get my reward looking back later and saying, hey, this guy learned something.
The students still have a lot to learn, but the class is a good start. Today, they'll come away with a little more confidence and a mean left hook. Sergeant Jesse Granger, 7th MPAD, Camp Liberty, Iraq. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has built a lot in the few months we've been here, from sewage systems to training sites for the Iraqi National Police and force protection measures for the soldiers here. In our next story, Troy Roland shows us the latest project.
This is what it's all about. Children with smiling faces. Well, that's the intent anyway. This is Al-Waya Children's Hospital in Baghdad. It's a reconstruction project managed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and is one of 5 hospital renovations in the province of Baghdad. It's an entire makeover for the hospital, bringing new plumbing, electrical, safety devices like fire detection systems, and its own oxygen generation facility. Dr. Tarif Rahman, the hospital's director, says the hospital stays busy caring for about 300 patients daily. Currently, that's just in half of the facility. There are 2 separate buildings, the one you see here and this one that's not yet complete. These renovations will provide more space for the 134-bed hospital and modern amenities that will make caring for these little angels much easier. The hospital is also a training facility, being the internship hub for 3 Baghdad universities. Now that's more bang for the buck. Not only do the citizens of Baghdad get a place to care for their sick children, they get a place to make more doctors to care for more children, and from the sounds of it, they're going to need them. Fighting the battle of healthcare in the city of Baghdad and winning. Reporting for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Public Affairs Office, I'm Troy Roland.
That's it for this week's edition of Cav Country. If you liked what you saw and you want to see more, check us out at www.cavcountry.net. There you can read the Daily Charge, our e-newsletter, or listen to the Cav Roundup, our daily radio newscast. Next week, we'll move into the heart of Baghdad with the new combat outpost. I'm Army Sergeant Jesse Granger. Thanks for watching.